Hello, everyone. This is that hazelnut stout from the last. Well, I already forgot how to say the first one. See, it's unopened still. That's right. This was a request. Wow, that really stinks. That's not good at all. I'd rather get my testicles run over by a car. I changed that. I take that back. Okay, so the first video, part one, was the scientific. And that's where I started to debate myself. So let's put it out there. I'm not a fan of organized religion. I go to church. I feel nothing. I've tried. Really have. I feel like when I would be in there praying and doing all the things, when I would leave, I just got this feeling. People laugh when I say it, but I mean it. I'm joking, but I also mean it sincerely. I would get this feeling that like something was telling me, hey, look, this isn't for you. You tried. You gave it your best, and that's fine. It's not for everyone. Just be good, live a good life, and you're fine. Like there's no harm, no foul. And that's kind of my approach to life. I'm not religious. I'm not somebody who wants to go to church and do all that. I don't feel anything. Do I believe that there is a God? Yeah, there's a part of me that believes that. Because I want to believe it. Like I want to believe in ghosts. I want to believe in Bigfoot. I want to believe in the Loch Ness Monster. And I'm not saying that God is equal to them. What I'm saying is I want to believe in those because I want to believe that there's something more. After this vessel is gone. And probably being molested because look at it. All right, that's not true. It's going to be molested by worms. But I want to believe that there's something more. If there is, there is. If there's not, there's not. If there is, but I'm not eligible, it's my fault. But in the end, if everyone else prays for me, then it's okay. No, I'm kidding. But that's my belief. If I just live a good life, then I'm fine. If I'm told that I have to jump through hoops and do all this sacrificing and all that stuff to get something better in the next life, nah. Like just because what if in the next life you got to sacrifice more? When does it end? How about this? Just let me be cool, big guy. See that? We're all on the same page. So that's where I am. That's my belief system. In my family, my mom my mom believed, went to church and everything like that. I was born a Lutheran, which is one of the 900 different sets of Christianity, which I've just always believed is garbage. Not Christianity, just everything. Something that I've always asked, and I'll ask again, and I ask this to a lot of different people. If you were on the street and I'm just going to use, I'll just say Jesus, right? Across all religions. Just Jesus. Some guy walks up to you and he says, hey, I am the second coming of Jesus. What do you say? Do you drop to your knees, kiss the hand, right? Oh, it's great that you're back. Or do you look at him and you go, all right, good for you, crazy person, and you just walk away? Because I would say, all right, have a good one. And I would just walk away because it's like, okay, whatever. I wouldn't believe it. So there's a part of me that if I don't believe it now, why would I believe it then? The dying, waiting 3 days, coming back to life. Who does that? Zombies? Okay, yeah, a zombie does that. You tell me that they want me to pray to a zombie? Now this is all jokes, okay? Don't take any of that serious. I'm talking to you. But, but you know, I just try to hold things in the belief that the Bible, the Quran, all that stuff. I believe if you read that and you find something that just kind of, it just like grabs your soul, it makes you believe, and it makes you, it gives you a purpose. That is awesome. That's amazing. That's great. I can only equate that to my love of history, which I didn't even realize that I enjoyed until I went to George Washington's home in 2014. And then I went back again in 2016. And from there, I went to Thomas Jefferson's house. And in 2017, I went to James Madison's house. And then I went to Hollywood Cemetery and the Confederate, the White House, the Confederacy, not the White House that we know, the Confederate during the Civil War White House, for people who aren't in the U.S. I apologize for this video not starting. Just fast forward until the video starts if you don't like it. And then in 17 I saw John Tyler, President's Grave, James Monroe, and then in 18 I saw Gettysburg, and yeah, I just returned a couple weeks ago from a trip to Eisenhower's home and Truman, and then the outlaw Jesse James. That was a side one. But like, I found that I have this love of history, this appreciation of it. American history more. I don't want to give it away, but spoiler, I am an American. So the history that I enjoy, like, not the history that I enjoy, I apologize. The spark that I feel from that, if I got that same spark from attending church and any kind of, I don't care if it was Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, I don't care. If I felt that same thing, that would be amazing. I just don't. I've never felt that for anything except for that love of history. And since then, I've always said that my dream job would have been, still could be, would be like a tour guide at Mount Vernon. I think that's just an amazing job, because that is one of the most, I don't know, it's something about it. It's just, I enjoy going there, walking around, going down to the wharf, visiting the tomb, going to the slave grave area. You know, it's very somber. But if I felt that same way from religion that I feel from that, I'm going for it. So I understand to a degree how religion can affect people. And I look at them that way and I'm like, man, I wish I had that. But then I have this, you know? So, and I don't mean this channel. I mean, I have, you know, my love of history. And I love the fact that I've gotten other early Muslim expansions, Napoleon, you know, Hannibal. Like, this stuff is great to me. So there is a reward. Like, I get to constantly feel that feeling. I just don't feel it with religion. I wish I did. I honestly wish I did. But maybe in time, maybe as I get older, I'll start looking at the old life clock and saying, yep, I better find something. All right, I apologize for this long-winded thing, and let's go ahead and get into this video.
Or has it existed from eternity past? If it did have a beginning, this raises a question.
Sorry, let me go back. I think I missed something.
Did the universe have a beginning? Or has it existed from eternity past?
I think it had a
If
beginning.
it did have a beginning, this raises a question. Did the universe have a creator? In part 1, we explored this question scientifically. Now let's look at it philosophically. Aristotle believed the universe was eternal in the past, but Al-Ghazali disagreed. He pointed out that if the universe did not have a beginning, then the number of past events in the history of the universe is infinite.
And I'll say to this, what I agree with him is if it is infinite, then we would be able to see signs of that. You know, like, okay, we can see dinosaur bones. We know dinosaurs existed. Cavemen. We know cavemen existed. But there would be something, we would see it. We would know that everything comes in cycles. If it was infinite, there would be cycles of life, and then it would end. And maybe things would change, and then it would come back. And then it would die off. And then things would change, and it would come. You know what I'm saying? So I think if it were infinite, there would be signs of it. There would be proof. Prime example. Well, not a prime example. An example. Potential example. Got to drink some hazelnut beer. Sorry. When we went to the moon, and yes, I do believe we went to the moon. I'm talking a lot in this video. God damn. So when we went to the moon, it would have been worrisome if Neil Anderson, Neil Anderson was a running back for the Bears in the 90s. If Neil Armstrong said, giant leap for man, or giant step for man, giant leap for mankind, something to that effect. Imagine if he followed that up with, oh shit, there's other footprints here. Like, you know what I'm saying? If he'd have been like, oh, giant leap for man, oh, hold on, I gotta jump over this giant 9-foot footprint. This isn't right. We had monsters on the moon. And I'm not, that's only if that life was capable of building crafts. But we would see something. That's my point. I am talking a lot, but I've been drinking a lot, and I apologize, but I don't apologize because I don't know why. I'm enjoying this buzz. I want to drink another beer. My foot itches right now, but I'm not going to itch it. I'm not going to itch it. I'm not going to itch it. Did I just say that? I should stop this video and punch myself in the dick right now. I'm not gonna.
It's a problem, because the existence of an actually infinite number of past events leads to absurdity. It's metaphysically impossible. Why? The mathematician David Hilbert illustrates...
Also, if something was infinite, by the way, sorry, apologies, the resources would have run out. Resources aren't infinite. You know what I'm saying? You can't just grow new oil. That doesn't happen. So it couldn't be infinite. It could be infinite, but not the resources. And you don't know how long. Let's say that it was infinite. How long would it take before man was killed, before the next civilization of human beings or whatever came around? It would have to be, what, millions of years? I mean, honestly, how long would it take? We are 65 million years after the dinosaurs. So you would be talking, let's say another, how long did dinosaurs roam? I mean, even if you say dinosaurs roamed for 65 million years, that's 130 million years. 65 million years that they roamed, and then you got a 65 million year gap. And then we come around. So that's 130 million years. And that's even saying that what was here then becomes resources. Like dinosaurs, oil. That would mean that people, previous generations of people, would be a form of a resource, you know. What am I saying? Have I drank too much? Have I been drunk too much?
Illustrates the problem by imagining a hotel with an infinite number of rooms, all of which are occupied. There's not a single vacancy. Every room in the infinite hotel is full. Now suppose a new guest shows up and asks for a room. The manager says, sure, no problem. Then moves the guest who was in room number 1 to room number 2, and the guest who was in room number 2 to room number 3, and so on to infinity. As a result of this shuffling, room number 1 becomes vacant, and the new guest happily checks in, even though all the rooms were already full, and nobody has checked out. And it gets even more absurd. Suppose an infinity of new guests show up at the front desk. No problem, says the manager. Then she moves each person into a room with a number twice that of his own room. So the person who was in room number 1 moves into room number 2. The person who was in 2 moves to 4. The person who was in 3 moves to 6, and so on. Since any number multiplied by 2 is always an even number, all the odd-numbered rooms become vacant, and the infinity of new guests gratefully check in. And yet, before they arrived, all the rooms were already full. It gets even crazier when the guests start to check out. Suppose all the guests in the odd-numbered rooms check out. In that case, an infinite number of people have left the hotel. And yet, there are no fewer people in the hotel. But suppose instead, all the guests in rooms numbered 4 and above check out. In that case, only 3 people are left. And yet exactly the same number of people left the hotel this time as when all the odd-numbered guests checked out. Thus, we have a contradiction. We subtract identity.
That part I don't understand. If everyone in all the from room 4 and above check out, but yet all the odd number people check out, how is it the same number? I know how to figure this out. Give me a second. Where are you, day 8? I need a drink. This is how we're going to solve this dilemma. Ow! My fingies. Please don't be a stout. Please don't be a stout. Please don't be a stout. I don't want to be a stout. English style brown ale. Oh, my finger. Did I really just sound like that? Have I been drinking too much? All right, now that's good.
Identical quantities from identical.
Why did I pause it? I already forgot. Oh, I might have a drinking problem, people.
Quantities and get different answers. These absurdities show that an actually infinite number of things cannot exist in the real world. Here is a second argument Ghazali offers against a past eternal universe. Suppose that for every 1 orbit Saturn completes around the Sun, Jupiter completes 2. The longer they orbit, the further Saturn falls behind. Now, what if these 2 planets have always been orbiting the Sun from eternity past? Which has completed the most orbit? Strangely enough, the number of their orbits is exactly the same, infinity. But that seems absurd, for the longer they orbit, the greater the difference becomes. If the universe has always existed, then an infinite series of past events has been formed by adding one event after another. It's like
I may have been drinking too much, but I don't understand a word she just said about the orbiting of the planets. It can't be the same. If one orbits twice for once, then it would be 4 for 2, 6 for 3, 8 for 4. How can they be even? Unless you're counting distance, which, why would you count distance? Because if you count distance, this one going around twice would be equal to this one going around once. Which then you could say, okay, well, that's one full term, but that's two. I need to drink more.
Like a sequence of dominoes, falling one after another until the last domino, today, is reached. The problem is that the final domino could never fall if an infinite number of dominoes had to fall first. So today could never be reached. But obviously, here we are. It's today. So the number of events leading up to today could not possibly be infinite. The infinite is nowhere to be found
In reality, it neither exists in nature nor provides a legitimate basis for rational thought. The role that remains for the infinite to play
is solely that of an idea. What objections might be raised to
I would agree with that.
these arguments? Some people object that, unlike the rooms in Hilbert's hotel, the events of the past don't all exist at the same time.
Yes.
But we can easily tweak the story to get rid of this objection. Suppose the hotel has been under construction from eternity past, one room being added each year. How many rooms would there now be in the hotel? An actual infinite number. So if the past is infinite, that would imply that Hilbert's hotel could exist, which is absurd. Others have objected that an actually infinite number of things do exist, namely numbers and other mathematical entities. However, this objection presupposes that numbers really exist, but this is a highly disputed assumption that most philosophers reject. So if Ghazali's two arguments are right, then the universe is not eternal in the past. It must have a beginning. And we know...
I forgot, I don't know the name of the last person that was just on the screen. I'm going to say Ghazali. I thought that's what she said, but I'm sure that's wrong. That guy right there. I'm agreeing with him. It's not infinite.
Know intuitively that whatever begins to exist requires a cause of its existence. Thus, we are led to conclude that the universe has a cause.
I would say that... I apologize, I had to burp. I would say that nothing is infinite. Nothing is infinite. And everything that starts... I have a dog named Kelby. You barely see... I mean, of all the videos I've ever done, you always see Maiden, who jumps up on my lap. I have another one named Kelby. It's her sister. She rarely comes. Come here, Kelby. Come here. I've been drinking a lot. I got a nice buzz right now. That's why I'm sharing. Come here. Come here. Come here, you. You big old dummy. This is Kelby. If you could see... Okay, Kelby needs to lick the back of my ear for whatever reason. I don't know why. Hey, we're talking about you. Okay? So she was just on the ground. Okay, yeah, okay, fine. It's behind the ear. As my mom used to say, when you're in the shower, you got to wash behind your ear, otherwise you're going to grow potatoes there. I don't know who else's mother said that to them, but apparently I have delicious potatoes behind my ear. I do clean there. I swear I clean. But that's just her thing. Now my other dog, Maiden, wants up on my lap. So, hey, we're talking about you. I have to apologize. So, I don't know how many of you who are watching know anything about the Three Stooges. Oh my gosh, I've been drinking. Moe, Larry, and Curly. This one right here, this one, who's in my lap, this one, likes to lay on the ground on her side and then hold on, Maiden, dig her paws into the carpet and starts going in circles like she's one of the Three Stooges. And it is funny to watch because she stops and looks at you and then gets mad that you're watching her. And then she storms off. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Because I was watching her do it. I've been drinking a lot today. I do apologize. Do you want me to put you down? Hey, look at the camera. Say hi to them. Say hi to the camera. Hello, my name is Kelby. Hey. All right, watch out, maiden. Okay. All right, back to the video. I apologize. I don't remember why. Doesn't matter. I'm drinking.
Of its existence. So what caused the universe? Atheist Daniel Dennett says the universe caused itself.
I'll say this, and I'm sorry for all the pauses and all the talking. This is why I'm doing it. I believe in the Big Bang Theory, not the TV show, in that there was the heat. Is that how it goes? Just everything. Oh my goodness, I can't even describe the Big Bang Theory. I don't think it's important because atheist philosopher, I don't think the atheist, well, unless he's a proud atheist. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I believe that, maybe the universe just kind of got warm and that explosion happened. I don't think it was anything God related or anything like that. That I think was just natural. But I'm going to spin it right now. See what I'm doing? I'm spinning it. I'm going to take a drink. What if God, Allah, whatever, what if they heated it up and made the Big Bang? Maybe, probably not. Just think about it though. God, Allah, right? He's baking cookies. That's what he does. That's his thing. You leave him alone. He's baking cookies. He takes the cookies out. He puts them on a tray to cool. Because that's what you do. He leaves the oven on. And if you know, hey, I'm trying to tell a story here that's made up. So shut your faces. And this is a true story. Now, don't mind how I talk to the dogs. They deserve it. Now, he leaves the oven on. Who hasn't done that? Have you seen the Lord, by the way? His oven? It's giant. It's at least 700 miles tall. If not the size of a normal stove oven. I got to get some more thinking juice. All right. So, I am just an idiot. Okay. So, he closes the door. He pops the light off on the oven. He walks away. Oven wasn't completely closed, right? Because he's one of those people who doesn't close it all the way at first. He's like, I'm going to vent some of this air out, right? Or no, he didn't do that. Why would he do that? He doesn't need to. He closes it, turns the light off, walks away. Oven, kablooey. That's the Big Bang Theory. That was the Lord, God, Allah, whatever. It was his oven that exploded. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Oh, Jesus. Oh, What's wrong with me? Why would I say that? I'm just gonna get back to the video.
But this is incoherent, because in order to cause itself to come into existence, the universe would have to exist before it existed. The cause of the universe must therefore be outside of the universe, spaceless, timeless, immaterial, and enormously powerful.
Thank you.
Much like God.
Oh, stop it. I'm Kris. Just call me Kris. Is that all the video? This is a 6-minute video, and I think I talked for like 15 minutes. I apologize to everyone with ears. I talked a lot, didn't I? Wow. There's a third part, I believe. But I don't know if I should watch that tonight because I've been drinking too much. Okay. Well, this was good. This was fun. I blame the Big Bang on the Lord's oven. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. I'm going to end this here. Oh, go ahead and down my brown ale. Okay. Wow. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to end this here. I think I've said more than enough. Okay. Like and subscribe. Otherwise, your religion is going to kick you out. And is it possible? Can they kick you out? Yeah, they can. Me and the Lord talk a lot. I'm always like, you should shut your oven off, and he's just like, shut up, Kris. Okay.